Hello, this is the start of a devlog because the GiantBomb's GiantROM 4 GameJam is starting. I participated in the second one of these. The third one I wasn't able to do. There's timing and stuff, and but this time, before I used Unity, and as if you've watched my other videos, you know that I've pretty good with Unity. I worked with it quite a bit, but I decided to take this as an opportunity to learn Unreal 4. Now, I've kind of dinked around with Unreal 4 in the past. You see 4.13.1 was installed, and I did a couple tutorials, but this is finally the thing I'm going to use to kind of get me going forward, kind of give me that little kick to actually like really learn it and do something with it. You know, it's probably not going to be a huge thing. Probably be a much smaller game that I would have been able to make if I was choosing to use Unity. But this is a learning experience, and it's always good to learn, right? I found this document here that is Unreal Engine 4 for Unity developers because I think Unreal or Epic knows their audience. I'm going to read this very thoroughly. I have done some of their tutorials in the past, but I'll probably revisit some of them. And as I update, as I keep going with this, I'm going to hopefully add more videos or add on to this devlog and hopefully release it. And if I don't do any of that, then this will be a really short video series. Thanks. I forgot to mention the themes were announced, and they are East versus West and One Big Chomp. I could interpret either of those as anything. So as far as what this game will be, I have no idea. No idea. Like what? Yeah. Okay, it is Saturday, January the 28th. This is continuing my development log on this Unreal 4 game I'm making for the GiantBomb GiantROM 4 GameJam. So I'm starting Unreal 4 for the first time. And I said last time that I was going to read through all of this Unity, Unreal 4 for Unity developers document, which I did. And I also read through, there's an additional one here on like their wiki. I think this one is unofficial, whereas this first one was official. But they're both pretty useful. I think I get the general gist of what's going on. Couple things that are really weird. It has this concept of actors and actor components. So whereas I think all mono behaviors in Unity you would consider in what Unreal would consider a component, whereas you can have multiple of them. So let's say you have a player character, you could have like a weapon component and a health component and a defense component and a movement component. This has all of that. Unreal has all of that, but then it also has the actor class, and that's just like player. And I don't conceptually I'm not quite sure what to do with that. Like it doesn't get associated to like the mesh or like the animations in any real way. Um, that's a separate component. So that's a little weird. The layout is not too crazy. Like content browser is exactly like this is very Unity looking. There's a bunch of really basic like the basically the menu for spawning a cube and a cylinder and a thing that would normally be in Unreal is like very elaborate in this. Like you can spawn things like the um, yeah, these visual effects, particles, whatever. Like you could just get all of this stuff right out of there. And then the scene view is here. Um, some of these I don't have a lot of them on hand because this is a code project, not a blueprint project. Although I can use blueprints in this too. You can double click and get like a blueprint view of, and it'll actually open another tab. So if you're using blueprints, you can do that. And it's basically this details window. I'll actually even drag it. Yeah, so these drag into their own windows and could be their own tabs, and that's a little different. Um, and then you kind of have th th there. This Other than that, I'm just kind of tooling around with it for right now. Like, I still don't really have an idea of what the game will be, but we can launch this, and then you can look at this output log, and you see these are my messages, your message, and this you had the tag. Now I'm removing it. Oh, and then it crashes. Yeah, and then it crashes because I can show you why it crashes. Let's take this out and build. Yeah, and then when it relaunches, compile it again. So there's something. Let's get it to do the thing. Well, it's not gonna do the thing. Basically, I wanted to do another thing where I was gonna do like a ray trace, which is called a what do they call it in this? Damn it. I called it the ray trace act. I have a ray trace actor component and a ray trace camera component. This is just me tooling around, and I wanted to do this line trace thing to like look at a component, like look at a target, and then tell me what the name of the thing was. The problem is the logging in this thing is super weird. You can like define different log types, but I haven't got any of that to work, so I'm using their log temp thing. You can see here. And the way I had it before is I actually had the name of the actor that I was looking at being printed. I was trying to print it, but if I do that, it breaks. I don't know why it breaks, but it crashes like you just saw. So I'm still working some stuff out. The East versus West theme and the dog chomp thing, I have not quite figured out how to incorporate that into a video game. So you can see here, like this. If I can shift one for, I was about to point at my screen with my finger. You look at this, looking at a new actor thing. This doesn't even really seem to correspond to what I'm doing in the game. Like now it's freaking out, and now it's not. Now it's freaking out. I don't quite. So something's wrong with that, and I can't debug it very easily because I can't figure out what I'm pointing at because of this crashing issue. But I'll figure it out. I can show you. This is another component. You can see this is all C++, and that's the language that this uses, as said before. Now, I was a C++ developer for a good long time, so that kind of helps. But I mean, like I was a Unity developer. I still am for a good long time, and then I was also a C++ developer. I'm still having some trouble with this, so it's dense, but it seems like it's very powerful still. I am using this to this component's now on my. Actually, I think it's just on some object in the world. It's not on my player character. It doesn't matter. It's just printing logs. Basically, this timer, it has a time delta time on its tick component. That's like the equivalent of like an update. Whereas begin play is like your start. And in begin play, I add a tag called the fun new tag, right? And then in this update, which is called tick component, I count down. I set a timer here based on delta time. Now, the first time the timer runs out, I check if that tag exists, and if it does, it prints out this message. This you had a tag, now removing it, and it removes that tag. And that's why if you look in this log, if it's still there, you had the tag, now removing it. That's why that only prints once. So just some basic figuring out how this stuff works, like how this stuff it's goes.